We are going to have the WNBA draft lottery. We know where the teams sit 5 through 12. How will spots 1 through 4 figure out? Fever, Mercury, Sparks, Storm. Here's how it sets up in terms of the percentages for the #1 overall pick. The Fever have the best chance to get the #1 pick at 44%. How this is based is on having the worst cumulative record over the last 2 seasons. So the Fever is sitting there at 44%, Mercury at 28%, Sparks at 18%, and Storm at 10%. Stephanie, I want to start with you. Put your coaching hat on. We don't know who yet, if Caitlin Clark is going to stay another year, if she's going to put her name in. If you're starting to analyze this talent, how do you analyze the ladies that could go and will go?
I think when you think about who might stay, who might go, a couple things come into consideration. One, do you have an opportunity to compete? What is your team going to look like a year from now? Are you ready to challenge yourself at the next level? Quite frankly, could Caitlin Clark be getting bored with college basketball? You know, honestly, NIL opportunities, and I know that Carolyn has a perspective on NIL opportunities as well. But you look at the entire package. What does it mean? Do we think this person's going to take that next step in their career or not? And quite frankly, it's maddening for us coaches. We're ready for this extra year to be done with. So we know we got some clarity.
Well, I think that people have a really misconception that women are going to stay in college as opposed to going ahead and going to the WNBA because of the NIL. Well, you know what? When you go to the pros, you can get endorsements and you're getting a salary to play. So you have an opportunity to play basketball 100% as a full-time job without having to worry about going to school. And I think you make a good point. If your team isn't in the position to compete for a national championship, yes, I can understand loving the college experience, but for women to make money, they got to play year-round. So you want to start as early as you can in that professional level so you can start your profession.
So these odds are based on the cumulative last 2 seasons. When you look at the 4 teams that are up for that #1 pick, who's got the biggest needs right now?
Well, I think that Indiana, they've been out of the playoffs for a minute. So they really need to get there. And they got Aaliyah Boston last season. They had Nalissa Smith the year before that. They've got Kelsey Mitchell, who can shoot the 3. So that if they got a Caitlin Clark with an Aaliyah Boston, that could be scary.
It could be really scary. I mean, you know, every team that's in the lottery, you know, certainly has needs, and you want to get the best player available at that moment. Once you get outside of that, then it becomes based on specific need. But if you ask any coach in the country, there's never enough point guards.
I thought Carolyn was going to say there's never enough post players.
Right. Oh, there's plenty of those.
All right, that lottery is going to be at 4:30. Before that, #1 versus #11. It's going to be South Carolina and Utah. All of that will be over on ESPN.